Hello, it is January 16, 2025. And I was sitting up last night before I went to bed thinking about God and his attributes. And I thought I'd try something new. And I'm calling this Tell Me All Your Thoughts on God. And I stole that obviously from a 90s band hit song. Bonus points for anybody to figure out who that is. But in the terms of God's infinity, it's easier for me to understand it that he has no beginning or ending because the Bible says that he's infinite, that he's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And that makes sense to me that a being could be here for all time. I don't have as much trouble fathoming that complex idea for some reason than the one that I was thinking of last night, which was how big is God? And I started theorizing about the size of God and how big he must be or could be. And I don't really know the answer. I've seen some other videos about, the size of the solar system and how massive the solar system is. And if he created that, he must be bigger than the solar system. But I'm not so sure about that part. And the reason I'm not so sure about that is because he created man in his image. So we look like him to some degree. And he appeared to Moses as a burning bush, we know. So he can obviously change size, I guess, or appearance, it seems like to me, which makes me think that he's not locked into this massive, size that's bigger than the universe. I don't think he has to be that. And not saying he couldn't be that, he could be. So if you think about the size of the solar system, and that there's galaxies outside of ours, I mean, space is really huge. And he could have obviously been bigger than that and physically put all the pieces together. Like, hey, let's make this Jupiter and this sun and all these planets and stars and things of that nature. But the other thing he could have done, if he has infinite power, perhaps, is just commanded those things into being. And I think I've read scriptures about basically that's what he said, is just be. And if he's that way, I don't know that he needs to be as big as the solar system. The other thought I had is that there's multiple dimensions, we know, obviously. Maybe he exists in a different dimension and he's in his own realm and he kind of oversees this realm and whichever realms he's created. But maybe he doesn't have to be the same size as our realm. Maybe his realm is different. They talk about, heaven and going to his place. So it seems to me like it might be on another plane altogether. And I was kind of picturing, somebody that makes like a model kit. I made a lot of model kits in my day for fun. And perhaps the scale of the universe as we know it is not the same as his. In other words, what appears massive to us might be literally like that big to him. Maybe he's just made something in his realm that's not as big in his realm than it is over here, like a upscale kind of a situation. Like in engineering, when you draw a map, you have a thing on their scale that 1 inch equals 40 feet. So it could be something akin to that, where he's creating this thing that's representing 1,000,000 miles per inch on his model scale. That was one thought I had. So either he's very, very large, or he's got some kind of a realm dimension that's different than ours, and he can scale things a little bit differently. Or perhaps the other thought I had is that he is like an energy that's just everywhere in the whole fabric of the universe. But the only thing that puzzles me with that is, if he is like an energy, which there's scriptures of him showing up as lightning and fire and things of that nature. He's also told Moses he couldn't see him directly or he'd die. So he's bright We know that he's very bright, powerful, like electric uh, energy kind of thing. If he is just everywhere, then I struggle with, well, then how are we created in his image? Because if he's this big electric field, we have a shape, obviously. Maybe our internal makeup is more like his image than what we appear. In other words, our electric charge that we have is similar to his electric charge that he has. And there's three different distinct ideas I had. I don't really know how to put them all together. And that's why I straight up asked him in my prayer. I said, tell me how big you are because I'm curious. I'd like to know. Now, this may be one of those things that humans just never know. Or maybe there's a biblical scholar out there that knows more than I do that could put some comments in here. And that's hence where I came up the title, Tell Me All Your Thoughts About God. And again, in the comments, if you can add who that is from in the 90s, you get bonus points. So I'm looking for some interactivity here. What's your opinion? How big is God? Is he electric charge? Is he a model maker in another realm? Or is he just massive, massive in scale? Sometimes I think about his throne and being at the base of his throne. And obviously I'm looking up and it's very large. But if he's bigger than the universe as we know it, his throne would be so big that there'd be no way to even see him at the top of it. And that kind of puzzles me a little bit. And if we are in his image and he's that big, then man, he's a really big giant, to say the least. So again, this might be something that's unanswerable, but it's good to ponder about and think about the massive power that he has and capabilities that he has and things he can do if we're tied in with him. And so there you are. Tell me all your thoughts about God.